All right. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Richter here, and welcome to our podcast on Gap the Generations and discussions on very important topics such as AI and medicine and how to exercise and eat well and nutrition and how that all pans out between the generations. And Lucas is a very athletic person. He basically goes to the gym every day. Is that correct, Lucas?
I no, I go to the gym like 3 to 4 times a week, but I'm active every day. I play sports and run and you know,
But you do something every day and
yeah,
have a very strict regimen.
yeah.
And basically, how do you manage to keep up with your energy? Obviously, you're still very young, but what are you doing to basically do the optimum performance output on your end?
Let's see. Well, main thing is sleep, and then consecutive sleep. So I go to bed at 10 p.m. and I wake up at 6 every day. Uh, and I do my best to sleep through that whole time. So I have white noise and I have earplugs, and then I shower before bed so that I cool off my body temperature, because all the warm blood comes to the outside of your skin, and then you cool off so you could fall asleep better. And then I don't drink water 2 hours beforehand. So I'll make sure I'm hydrated. I just have to drink earlier. That way I don't wake up to pee in the middle of the night. So getting that consecutive sleep helps. And then what else? Take a omega-3 fish oil, vitamin D, vitamin C, and vitamin B12. And then I also, like if you're gonna do like something the next day, you got to eat carbs. If you don't eat carbs, you're not gonna have good energy.
Awesome. Yeah. So, which of the supplements and the B12, does it give you any side effects?
Nothing that I noticed.
Nothing that you noticed, because people report like itchy skin or tingling, or at what dosage are you taking it?
I'd have to look actually. Just a daily one dose. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not important. And you take it with meals or
Yeah, I try to.
try to,
Yeah.
And which of these supplements, when you let them go, the problem with supplements is you can't ever remember to take all of them every day, right?
Yeah.
Which one of these, if you let them go, is making the biggest difference?
I mean, it's hard to tell, you know. I think the one I let go the most is the omega-3 because that's refrigerated. So if I'm not, I can't take it with me if I'm going somewhere.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's like with all of these, I don't know the exact science behind it, like which ones you need like day to day and which ones like stay within your body. And if you miss them for a day, it doesn't matter. I don't know. That's maybe vitamin D or the omega-3, obviously. But I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, the omega-3 stays, your fat levels stay the same if you miss it for a day, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting topic, and I think everybody is different, and people have different demands, of course. So, when you have a lot of screen time or basically a very high brain time, exams, you name it, or you're exercising a lot, obviously you're going to be more depleted on the DHA and the EPA omega 3s. But the bottom line is, like you said, that omega 3 is a long term level. And if you miss a day or here, it's not going to be a huge difference. But if you miss a week, right? Have you missed a week?
Yeah.
And then how
Yeah.
did you feel?
Yeah, you definitely notice a difference. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you actually posted that before taking omega 3, you could only run a mile 6:30 and then you went to 5:20. I mean, it could be coincidence because of your exercise
Right.
regimen, but you feel like there's some relationship there.
Yeah, I do. Like you mentioned as well, it's like I think like heart health. I felt when I was testing that running, I felt that like my heart had no issues. Like I could just keep going and pushing it, and like I didn't feel like that, like nothing was telling me to stop. Um, versus like, when you're sometimes when you're running and your heart's going and you think that's what's going to hold you back.
Yeah, because you have to watch your heart rate. If you push it too far, then the pain in your chest is significant, right? I mean, even in your job, you must have experienced that, right? Where you
Mm-hmm.
have to stop because otherwise you're going to faint or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially out in the desert heat. So in any case, yeah, I just this weekend on Friday, I rode my bike 25 miles, lots of hills, played 27 holes of golf, mowed the lawn by hand, did another bike ride, steep hills, and zero soreness. I mean, if I would have done this before I was taking omega 3 years ago, I would have been out for a week. I mean, I would be so sore I couldn't move the next day. Everything hurts, and I'm getting older. I mean, I'm turning 58 this year, and I've never experienced anything like this in my life. And I'm super excited that you can actually get these benefits now, early on in your life, and push your performance to a level that I could never achieve. Partly because of my more sedentary lifestyle, but excuses.
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome. Yeah, to just switch topics a
Well,
bit.
can I say one more thing about that? So I don't think it's all a physical. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being like placebo's like the best drug or whatever, but I do think it helped me like just made me think clearer. I don't know why, but I just felt like less brain fog.
Yeah, so describe that brain fog thing and before and after. That's a very nebulous term.
Well, like when I felt like I could make decisions faster. Like it just the right decision just can't comes up easier, quicker.
Yeah, so your job, you do IT, right? So
Yeah.
you have to do very quick maneuvering through many different platforms and websites, right? So you found some improvement on those terms too?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily with work, just generally like just in life as
Hmm.
well.
So you mean
Just like day to day,
more
like
on an emotional basis, or?
no, not like that. Purely like practical, like like should I go, get breakfast before I go to go get
Mhm.
to go to the gym, like which makes more sense instead of thinking about it. I just found like I could just figure out what was more efficient. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, those things matter, right? Um, we make, I don't know, actually, I don't know that. Let's ask ChatGPT how many decisions we make per day. Um, what's your guess?
Uh, 1,500.
How many decisions do we make per day on average? The number of decisions a person makes per day can vary greatly depending on various factors, of course. So you won't give me an exact number.
Hmm.
Um,
Can you ask it for a range?
thousands, yeah. And, thousands, that's what we guess too. And there are thousands of decisions. So they're coming sometimes very quickly. And some of them we overthink, right? and, um, anybody who plays golf, which we both love,
Yeah.
knows that you have to make decisions quickly and then you let them go. So that's again also something I noticed, that making decisions are again it feels like they're less emotional. So it's
Hmm.
like they are on a different level, the decisions. And I'm finding myself that I'm not reacting as much, or overreacting to triggers and other people attacking me. I'm easily overreacting. In any case, all of those effects, yeah, they take years. I mean, basically, I'm on this product now for 2 years, and the real effects I found after 1 year. and especially with the heart health. Like I mentioned earlier, I was riding up hills, steep hills here in the Northwest in the sun. And before I would have to stop and basically, you know, thinking I better stop or I'm getting a heart attack. And that kind of a thing, because I know, people my age who easily get heart attacks on bikes going up hills. But no, that's just not the case anymore. And I just go up the hill without any. I mean, it's not like I have more strength. My legs are still like pudding because I just don't exercise enough. But my heart can keep up with everything I do, and I can push myself farther. Anyways, so yeah, we'll see where that all goes, right? And maybe you're gonna break another running record, huh?
A personal running record, yeah. Maybe.
Personal running. Yeah, you're pretty tall, so you're not exactly a runner. But what would be your ultimate achievement then, athletically, that you would actually like to get to?
I mean, like, I don't necessarily have an ultimate achievement because, you just keep like going and then event you just see what you can do as things progress. So like you pass one goal and go to the next, right? But I would
What's
say
your
like
next goal?
like a 18-minute 3 mile.
18 minutes. Wow. Yeah, nice. Well, you let us know when you got there.
Yeah, I
I
mean right
actually,
right now my fastest time is 20 minutes and 15 seconds, so I gotta shave like
Mhm,
2 minutes off, which is a
mhm.
lot.
Yeah, so I can only suggest to do this thing when you have the time, early, because the older you get, the more excuses, the more injuries, right? So, right now I'm dealing with a bad foot, and, then you just can't run. You can only bicycle. But I would love to push myself running too again. So, I want to do a little triathlon, a short one. So, are you planning to do any competitions?
Oh no, no.
No, you have too many competitions in your job.
Well, I don't know, maybe like I mean it's competition, but I wouldn't run it as a competition. Like obviously I want to run everyone wants to run a marathon once and then you do that like you sign up and run it with other people.
So, a full marathon.
Yeah, that's a goal as well, a
Yeah.
distance goal.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, you don't have to run the whole thing, right? What they say, you can walk and run,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
but it's still a long ways.
It's very long.
So, what do you think about getting older? I mean, we have 35 years difference here, and how do you see yourself, when you turn 60?
Yeah, I look at people when they're older and and if I see them out of shape, I don't think you're out of shape. You look very healthy. When I see out of shape people, I just think I'm not going to be like that. Which who knows, like life changes and everything. But I think that you can get enjoyment out of like all the activities you're doing or I'm doing right now. I think I can still get enjoyment out of all of them when I'm 60. Like I was just playing basketball the other day with a bunch of people who were like in their 40s and 50s and they all beat me like, you know, because they
Hmm.
started when they were my age. Like it's all the same. You can play tennis, golf, swim, run, bike. You can do all of that.
Yeah, that just isn't really true. So when you hit 40, and all of that said, I spent
Uh,
55 years of my life being probably 90% omega-3 deficient. I wish I wouldn't have. So I'm really happy for you that you can look forward to a much more fulfilled body energy type. In any case, you just give up one after another. Like I give up soccer, you get injured 3 times in a row, and you just don't want to do that anymore. And tennis is
yeah,
too hard. So now we just, play golf, pickleball, yoga, which is
yeah.
all good. But you know, I guess basketball is a totally different sport because it's so incredibly demanding. And if you stay up with it, you're super healthy, right? Those guys you played with, they must be buff, right?
I mean, tall, short people, they're all like in good shape. Yeah. I mean, there's some people who are overweight as well. I mean,
Huh. So it's a
yeah,
lot of technique that goes in.
it's all like technique and like game sense, which I don't really have. So like they know how to play around me and play with each other.
So have you concerned yourself with using AI for your uh, exercise regimen or your tools? Have you asked Chat?
No, I haven't. That's a good idea though. Yeah, I haven't.
So, what's the deal with this time under tension, for example, how to build muscle? I have never really been able to build a lot of muscle. I'm not the body type for that. And then I just get hurt, right? And so I use light weights. But this one guy on YouTube, forgot his name. He's all over. You probably know him. He like hangs from a bar, and then pulls up another weight, right? And he calls that a kiddie exercise. So, anyways, he says it's time under tension. So um, that's what counts. You agree
Uh,
with that?
I think if you're talking about building muscle, yeah, I mean, I'm not like a bodybuilder. Like I think, if you're trying to be healthy, like you do
Yeah.
need
So
to
the
build
problem when
muscle.
you get older is, muscle loss, sarcopenia, right?
Uh-huh.
And it gets harder and harder and harder to maintain muscle, and you just want to do aerobic to stay fit, but you're still going to lose muscle, and you're just going to get leaner and less muscle and leaner and less muscle, or you're just going to get fat, right? And because you are not, I mean, it's what the muscle is what burns the fat. So it's getting harder and harder and harder after 40. So and that I need something that's easy, an easy process for me that I can build muscle to burn that fat and basically forget about aerobic at this point, because the muscle loss is pretty significant. But again, I haven't done a full, what is that, hydro chamber or something to look at your BMI. But from my belly circumference, you can estimate that the BMI is at its borderline. So that's what they do, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have a higher testosterone level, it's gonna be easier to build and maintain muscle. And then if you look at like, I mean, I haven't researched this in a few years. I learned this a few years ago, but like give or take or so, ever since the 80s, like our testosterone levels have gone down 1% every year, and they think it's due to like the plastics that and just processed food. And so like a lot of people are doing testosterone replacement, like steroids, to like keep up their levels to how they should be,
So
and
you
that
know
helps a
people
lot.
personally who take testosterone?
Yeah, not for those reasons, but yeah, just to like bodybuild. Yeah.
Mhm.
But like I know of people like Joe Rogan, for instance, he does
Mhm.
that for the exact reason.
Mhm. Yeah, the dangers are high with taking it.
Right, exactly.
Um,
So you should go get your blood work tested to see like what your levels are at. Maybe they're actually above average and
hmm.
above where they were 20 years ago for someone your age.
Yeah, I have never had a problem with the testing levels. That testosterone doesn't seem to be the problem. Um,
Are you eating enough protein?
yeah, maybe I'm eating the wrong protein, too much salt. Um, Definitely, I try to eat a lot of protein and less carbs, but I know for a fact that once I eat bread, the effects are very inflammatory and I bloat up, and it just ruins all the other effects of the protein I eat. I, eat red meat almost every single day, and I eat a lot of fish, sardines almost every day. I don't believe in those protein shake, whatever. They just upset my digestion. Have you
Yeah, me
tried them?
too. I don't like them for the exact same reason. I mean, my digestion doesn't exactly get upset. I'm sure it doesn't help it, it doesn't like it, but it's just like toxic sludge. I don't like it. It's
Yeah,
gross.
it's kind of interesting. There's a huge industry, and I guess if you're a real hardcore bodybuilder, you get
Yeah, they
used.
need it. Yeah.
But I've yet to find one. I've tried so many through my life that.
You, I've tried a few that were like really expensive that were like high quality. There's this one blueberry one. Um, yeah, I'm sure if you look,
But
you'd
most
find
of it
one you
is
like.
it's whey and it's milk protein, right?
Yeah, but you can find like real like high quality that are sourced from like I don't know, like you get protein from bone marrow, like
Yeah.
yeah, like that.
So in any case, whey is definitely not a good protein. It's inflammatory.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, well, cool. And next week or our next meeting, I would like to talk more about some real issues on the upcoming AI changes and how we both look at the future of our jobs. And there was an interview with the Google Vice President podcast that we should discuss. It was very shocking what he had to say. And anyways, that's going to be our next topic. And
Okay.
looking forward to it. And it's definitely, fun to have a conversation with young people, which is rare. Most of them just don't care anymore, but probably because their testosterone levels are so low. What is it like? They've gone down 50%, right?
Yeah, I
And
don't, like I said earlier, I don't know the numbers.
even young people got
Yeah.
50%. And I think a lot of like half of the men don't even have sex for a whole year anymore. So, and that's a sign of low testosterone, right?
Yeah, I mean everything's connected because that's like a social thing, Our generation has the least amount of sex.
Answer me this question. I don't know. I'm trying actually to remember how it was when I was young. You forget. But, so many young people I know, they are not interested, especially men interested in relationships or girlfriends. It's just not on the plate anymore. Is that because, video games are more interesting or?
Well, I mean, yeah, video games, porn, processed food, like you get your fix somewhere else.
So
Um,
basically, it's enough. You're not actually, there's no attraction.
no, there's definitely attraction. It's just we're more and more isolated, and people don't go out as much.
Mm,
Actually, no, I don't know. People go out as much. It's just totally different. I mean, I date. I don't know. Yeah.
mm. But you agree that there is a change in the
Yeah,
generation.
yeah, I think it's the things I mentioned earlier that give you that fix, and then I think just like a social thing, like me and every other guy is like terrified to talk to girls, and girls don't talk to us. That's just like the
You're
general.
terrified?
No, of course not terrified, but like it's just it's out of the social norm to go and talk and socialize with people that
Interesting.
you don't know, especially like girls. Like you just like they're like instantly, it's like connotation like, oh, you don't want to be that guy that's hitting on the girl that you don't know, that stranger. I don't know how it was for your generation.
Oh, yeah, of course, it takes some courage to talk to. I mean, when we used to go to discotheques and you name it, parties, we had a lot of festivities. So that's one thing. I mean, when I grew up, we had, parties without end and a lot of mingling, public parties or festivities, right? Beer fests, you name it.
Yeah.
And they're a meeting grounds, and you don't even have to have a date. I mean, you just go and there will be people, and it's not that hard to talk to a strange woman then, but definitely there's I don't think there's much difference in that it's difficult for a young person to talk to a stranger. um, it's kind of something you have to learn, but it gets easier, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, and there are places like obviously we have clubs nowadays and like places where it is socially normal to go and talk to people. But and even if it's not normal, like you go and talk to those people, it's not weird. It's just like in our heads. I think a lot of us just have social anxiety.
Social anxiety. Yeah. So you think the video games and stuff makes it worse? The
I
social
don't know really.
anxiety?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways, definitely a interesting topic and maybe something we should dig a little deeper with AI and how they're going to help us. So, I mean, part of the what we're going to discuss next time with AI is you have to become friends with them, and they can help you. Yeah, so that's what the vice president from Google said. You have no choice. You have to become friends with them. So anyway, we'll talk about it next time. It'll be super interesting. and I'm looking forward to it. So that's enough for today, and thanks for joining us.